Well, good morning, everybody. It's time for Morning Manna. And this morning, I certainly have a word for you on this morning. And I'm sure you can already see I am on the road, at a retreat, if you will, for the Changing Lives Ministries pastors, those that are under our covering at New Life in Christ. I'm so glad to be hanging out with them and pouring into them. And speaking of that whole piece about being Sabbath, this is sort of a Sabbath, and I'm going to get into that even more. I want to greet some people and then get into the word. Hey, let me know. Let me know. How do you hear me? Do you hear me pretty good? And as my connection okay? Got to do all of those things, and then I got to get into my session on this morning. Man, it's good to see everybody on this morning. Love to see you on this morning. Okay. Good morning, Ramona. How are you? First in line, always. Good morning. Good morning, all of you here. Let me get here so I can see. Good morning, Ella. How are you? Wendy, how are you? Gerald, how are you? LaFawn, how are you? Vicky, how are you doing on this morning? Pamela, how are you? Patrice, how are you doing on this morning? Laura, how are you on this morning? Greet some more folk on this morning. Anna, how are you? Cynthia, how are you on this morning? Joel, how are you on this morning? Pasha, how are you on this morning? Anna, how are you guys doing on this morning? So you hear me good? Okay, Deborah, are you all there? Okay, good morning, Bishop from New York. Are y'all on the plane yet? I'm so jealous of y'all. Look at that, going all the way to Ghana again. But guess what? Guess what? I want to tell everybody right now. Our church in the next couple of years, we're going to Africa. We're going to dedicate the church that is in Africa. You already know it. I'm gonna take me a whole plane full of folk. How about that? Good morning, Elder Mobley. How are you? But that's to come. Let's talk about this morning right now. Work harder and rest harder. That's what we're talking about on this morning. Good morning, Peggy. How are you on this morning? Meet some more people. Vaughn, how are you? Brother Nesbitt, how you doing? I'm praying for you. Praying for you, lifting you up. Missed you on Sunday. You already know. Brother Pope, how are you? Minister Sent, how are you on this morning? Yes, good morning. Good morning, Pastor Larry. Miss you guys. Wish you were here. Show do. Good morning, Brenda. How are you on this morning? Good morning, Liz. Somari. Tamari, how are you on this morning? Let me get right to it, Carolyn. Let me get to the manna on this morning. This morning is all about, it's really all about this. It's all about work harder, rest harder. It's this series that we're in about Sabbath. And quite frankly, this series is something I need to apply to my own life. I have this work ethic, I think, that takes me beyond what it really should be. And not saying that one should not have a work ethic. What I am saying, though, is what is the place of work in your life? And that's what it is talking about in this whole series. What is the place of work in your life with respect to what God has designed for you in your life? You living to work or you working to live? And what was God's intent in that whole piece? So that's what I want to just share with you on this morning. And let me just get right to it. And before we do, of course, we already know we got to get into the manna on this morning. Good morning and welcome to Morning Manna, where in 5 minutes or less, you're going to get an impartation with the text, the talk, and the takeaway. Join the Morning Manna fam every weekday morning at 8 o'clock Central Standard Time. Don't forget to put in the chat the revelation that you get and share the manna. Now, let's get ready to have some manna so you can make it through your day. Here's the text, Exodus 20 and 8, the NIV translation. Remember the Sabbath day by keeping it holy. How do you remember it? Keeping it holy. Remember what I said on Sunday. In Sunday's message, I said that holy, the word holy, is first used when it is applied to a day, not a person, not a place, not a mountain, but it is first applied to a day. Now, here in the text is telling us that this day you should keep holy. He gives it to us as holy. We go into the whole piece of the fall of humanity. Now we have to work at keeping it holy. What does that mean? What does that mean? We've mastered how to grind, but somehow along the way we forgot how to glorify God. Get this, by resting in Him. In this whole series, I've been reminding you all of that, this whole thing here. And so I'm just want to just remind you, you're not a slave. Your value is in your identity, not in your output. So to that end, the world says do more. God says be still. There's three things I want you to get as a result of trying to keep the day holy in a fallen world where you're toiling because you're not trusting. Three things. Here it is. The first is this: Sabbath is not a reward for finishing. It's not a reward for finishing. I often look at it that way. Often look at it that way. In fact, I grew up thinking that way. Okay, I get a reward for working hard. It's a rhythm for living. It's a rhythm for living. Here's the second thing I want you to get. Rest is warfare. It breaks the chains of performance and slavery. It breaks the chain of performance and slavery. So often what we do is we get into this whole thing about trying to perform and trying to win God by our work instead of trusting God in Him. Here's the third thing I want you to get. When I rest, I'm not being lazy. I'm being like God. Mm. Let that marinate. When I rest, I'm not being lazy. I am resting in God. I'm resting in Him. What's your takeaway on this morning? Rest is optional. Rest is optional. It's obedience. Rest isn't optional. It's obedience. Rest isn't optional. It's obedience. The Lord be with you today. May His face shine upon you and give you peace. I'll see you tomorrow morning with more Morning Manna. Share the manna. Don't keep it to yourself.